Have you ever been in a relationship where there was infidelity? Maybe you were the one who cheated. Maybe you were the one who was cheated on. And you just don't know how to get back from there. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 ways to restore your relationship after infidelity. Hi, I'm Coach Ken, and I help people navigate the complexities of modern day relationships. And we're going to get right into it after this. Infidelity is tough. You know, it's one of those things that you can never prepare for because you don't know how you're going to feel, especially when you're on the receiving end. And then the person who actually does it feels what you feel many times, especially if they care about you. Now, in this video, I'm not going to go into why they did it. I'm not going to go into all of that. What I am going to do is tell you how to restore the relationship. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. But there is a caveat. And the caveat is simply this. Both people have to want the relationship to work. Both people have to be willing to go through the process for it to work. Because if one person wants it to work, the other person doesn't want it to work, it's not going to work. It takes two. So that's the first thing. So let me jump into the 6. The first thing that has to happen, number 1, you've got to end the affair completely. Completely, utterly. You have to cut off the oxygen of the affair. Now, what do I mean? I mean, you know how some people say, well, we can be friends. No, you can't be friends. No, because that's going to always create some tension, some mistrust there. You have to completely end it. And if that means if one partner says, hey, I want you to call the other person to tell them that it's over, then that person who cheated must be willing to do that. Because if you don't end the relationship, and the relationship as the outside relationship has oxygen, it's not going to work. We can't be friends. We can't be social media friends. I can't follow you on Instagram. I can't look at your TikTok videos. Any of that. You have to cut off the oxygen. That's number 1. Number 2, you have to take the person that did it has to take 100% responsibility for their actions. Now, what does that mean, Coach? That means simply this. You can't justify, I call it the 4 no's. No justifying, no deflecting, no blaming, or no hiding. Now, let me explain those. First of all, no justifying. Okay, well, I did it because I wasn't getting sex. No, your partner was in the same relationship and maybe they weren't getting everything that they was wanting in the relationship, but they didn't justify, they didn't go out and cheat. The second thing is no blaming. You can't blame the other person for something that you did. So there's no justified, no blaming, no deflecting. Deflecting, you cannot deflect and say, well, you don't wash the dishes enough, or you don't take out the trash, or you don't work enough, or you don't bring enough money in. You can't. We're not deflecting. We're talking about one issue, and that issue is what happened, the infidelity itself, and then no hiding. We're not going to hide anything. And there's another one that later on the list where we're going to share everything. Now, even the gory details if the person requires that. And you're going to find out why they need that. Number 3 is you have to recommit to the relationship. And you say, Coach, what do you mean by recommit? Recommitting simply means you have to be willing to go through the process necessary for reconciliation. And what is that process? Sometimes that process, I often say this, you have to climb the trust mountain. And that trust mountain are things like this. Your spouse might want to know, hey, how did you do it? When did you do it? They may have a million questions, and you got to be willing to answer each and every one of them, because that's what they need. Okay, and you have to commit fully to this process. If the person says, "Hey, I need your social media password," you got to give it to them. If I need to know where you are at 9:15, you got to give it to them, because you created this environment. And now you got to live within this environment, especially if you want to climb Trust Mountain again. Because the truth is, we cannot put a time limit on it, because betrayal and grief and loss, because the person, think about it. You don't put, when somebody dies, you don't say, okay, you got to be over the relationship and you get approximately 2 weeks. No, you don't, because you know that they have to go through the cycle of grief. And essentially, that's what's happening to the person. They've lost the relationship as they knew it. So they're going through the cycle of grief. They just found out. And you got to be willing to, when you recommit to the relationship, you're committing to this process that helps the other person gain the healing that they need. Number 4 is you got to be empathetic with your spouse or partner. What do I mean by empathetic? So you can't be saying stuff like, just get over it. It hasn't been long enough. I'm tired of answering these questions. Because empathy means I feel that you need these things, and you have to, that empathy is the gateway to your reconciliation. Because if you don't have any remorse, then I doubt you're ready to I doubt you really, really want to reconcile the relationship. If you don't have the compassion to allow this person, the empathy that this person needs, because they're hurting. Y'all, betrayal, that kind of pain is tremendous. And if you have never gone through it, or if you're not going through it, you don't know what it feels like. So it is your responsibility, since you led to or contributed to or facilitated the pain, you gotta be willing to be empathetic in the process. Number 5 is you have to be completely honest and transparent. Oh, this is the part, y'all. And what I mean is, listen to me. You got to take the Band-Aid off the scab. You know how sometimes you take the Band-Aid off, you take it off just a little bit at a time, hoping that you can tolerate the pain or the discomfort. Well, when infidelity arises, you got to snatch the Band-Aid completely off. And what is the Band-Aid? Tell the truth. If they had the whole truth, nothing but the truth, everything involved. You can't have any trickle truth. No trickle truth. Trickle truth is when you just tell them just a little bit of something because you don't want to tell them the whole thing. And you have to be honest and you have to be transparent in a way that's going to make you uncomfortable. But that is the only way the other person knows that you are truly about reconciling the relationship. Because if you're giving them pieces of the truth, all they're going to think about is, well, you know what? At the end of the day, you're not ready. You're not ready, and they're not going to ever feel confident, and you're not going to be able to rebuild the trust doing it that way. And last but not least, seek help. Seek a coach, a guide, therapist, someone that can help you heal. Seek guidance. This video is great. It's a start. But at the end of the day, you got to seek help, because the healing process, it takes time. The healing process, there is no, okay, it's over tomorrow. And sometimes we need guides to help us through the process. All right, I'm Coach Ken.